By the title of this video, you probably already know what we're about to talk about. Forspoken is going to launch and underperform so much so that Square Enix is immediately going to move on to the next project and stop supporting the game. This is at a demo, so many people are turned off from the game based on not only what they've seen but what they played. And people are just going to flock away from it, it's going to sell bad, and like I said, Square Enix is just going to stop performing updates on the game. However, I'd like you to stick around and let me tell you why I believe the opposite is about to happen. But in order to do that, we need to break the game down into segments, with the first being combat. The combat in Forspoken is quick and fluid, with the ability to change between offensive and defensive spells on the fly to adapt to whatever you're battling. You can maneuver around enemies with ease and catch them off guard with a slash from a fire sword, or defend with a rock shield and then blast shards of the shield at the enemy. From what I've played, there just seems to be so many ways to handle combat and to tackle any situation that the game throws at you. It makes the combat so exciting and so free. The next thing that I think is huge for casual players like myself is the ability to customize the settings to your playstyle. Forspoken is one of the first games that I've seen with such a customizable gameplay in the settings that you can literally make it as easy as possible or as hard as possible by changing little things like your stamina recovery speed, enemy knockdown time, meaning that when you knock enemies down, you'll have the chance to go over and perform your finishing attack and just knock them out way quicker. How much damage you receive and how much damage you deal. They have aim assist for spells. They have auto healing for when your health gets low, the game will automatically heal you and use one of your potions. The list goes on. There's just so many things you can do to make the game play how you want it to play. Not to mention, on the console version on PS5, it has different modes to improve your performance for 60 frames per second, ray tracing for better graphic visuals, and quality focus for a stable 4K mode if you have a 4K TV. And of course, since Forspoken is an RPG, there will be a crafting and gathering system. While out in the world exploring, you'll find materials used to upgrade and craft new potions and gear. And I didn't mention this before, but you can also turn an option on in the settings that makes it to where if you get near the items in the world, you automatically pick them up. And it just makes gathering so much easier and much more enjoyable because you can just run by stuff and just pick it up immediately. You don't have to like spam X or anything to pick it up. What's really cool that is if you are crafting an item and you're in the crafting menu and you need more of a specific item, you can highlight the item, go to it, and it'll tell you where it's at in Athia. Like this bomb flax, for example, it says it can be found in the fields of Athia, so it kind of gives you a general idea of where to go. When upgrading gear, you can choose what specific traits you want to add points to, or what type of effects you want to add to the gear. This too will cost you material found throughout Athia, so at least early in the game, it seems you'll have many options for upgrades. For an open world RPG, or just any RPG in general, I think monster books or bestiaries are super important because it lets you inspect the enemies of the world that you're in and read more about them and get a deeper understanding of what they look like. You can zoom in on them, check them out, see their art design, stuff like that. It's super cool. Forspoken has this, and it lets you just really check them out. Like the break characters, I think is what they're called, the zombies or whatever, if you will. They look super cool, and being able to go through and actually like check them out is awesome. And more games need to add that, and they are. I think going forward, I've noticed a lot of RPGs starting to do this, which is great, and I want to see it added in every RPG. It just gives you a chance to like check out the enemies in the game. I've probably spent a couple hours alone just looking through all the enemies and stuff I've come across in a demo, so I'm super excited to see what other enemies are going to be in the game when the game launches. And I know I've only played the demo, and the demo is a few months old, if not a couple years old at this point. So I'm sure those of you that have gripes, they'll be addressed when the full release, I'm sure. Such as like the combat with aerial enemies like the birds, they're super difficult to track in battle. And having janky camera movement is an issue I've noticed people having. So I'm sure they're going to address those. And I think they have addressed those before on Twitter. I'm not sure, but I imagine all that's going to be taken care of. And it won't be so difficult to do that kind of stuff in the game. However, those of you expecting weather cycles and day and night cycles, I don't think that's going to be in the game. So I would not be expecting that. If that's what drives you away from the game, unfortunately, it's just not going to be in the game. But all I really want to say is if you're on the fence, I hope that you're leaning more towards getting this game than not. It's a brand new IP, and that alone is pretty exciting because it's always good to have new things come out as opposed to sequels or remakes. I know we're in the era of remakes right now, so it's nice to see something fresh come out. But my goal with this video was to help bring excitement to the game and kind of explain why I'm excited and why you should be excited. And I hope I was able to do that, at least get you a tad bit more excited for the game. Maybe inch over to the other side of that fence a little bit more. But with that being said, Those of you that are getting the game on release, I hope you enjoy it. I'm excited to play with everybody and discuss it. I've enjoyed the demo thoroughly, minus a few things here and there, like button mapping needs to come. It just needs to come to the consoles. But other than that, I've had an enjoyable time with the game. And those of you not so sure yet, give it a week or so. You know, keep an eye on it. Do your thing. Watch Twitch, watch YouTube. Check out the videos, the tutorials, or whatever. Don't spoil yourself too much, you know, because you still should experience the story. But keep an eye on it and then make your decision from there. And I hope you still enjoy it. And if you don't, that's all right. We'll see you on the next game Square Enix drops. 16, Final Fantasy 16 maybe. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.